Hi, it's Shar. So you want to learn a little bit more about smear campaigns. It's going to be an interesting chat. So smear campaigns are just another form of abuse that the narcissist sociopath uses to kind of get their revenge or get their, when they are done with you and they're discarding you, part of that discardment is the smear campaign, so they can kind of take their last punch, their last blow at you. I know in my situation, my narcissist slash sociopath, I ended up having to get a no contact order. He was arrested at my house, and I ended up getting a no contact order, and he went on this spree of just part of my no contact order were kind of all the threats that he had made to me, that if I left him, he was going to do this, he was going to do this, he was going to do this. And so when I went down to file for my no contact order, and I heard this said before, and I really agree with it, is that a no contact order is actually sometimes the last will and testament. And while he hasn't killed me, he sure the heck tried everything except physically. But a lot of the time, especially in domestic violence, when there's a no contact order issued, everything that was threatened up to that point happens. And in mine, it was case by case. He said that he was going to take me out, he was going to ruin me, he was going to put me out of business, that I would be all over the news, that he would have me on the front page of the paper, and he did. And as I was going through it, I remember thinking, I can't believe that this is all unfolding. And to this day, today is the middle of October, there are still local news channels that have this headline from the situation that he created on their websites. And so they are aiding in the abuse of a domestic abuse victim. And it's all part of his smear campaign, what he wanted to do. And he did a very good, effective job of it. That is what smear campaigns do. We can see them on lighter levels. We could see them on meaning just a bad word that somebody has against somebody else. Or heck, when you run for a political office nowadays, there's always the attempt from the other side to do some type of smear campaign. But whenever there's any smearing coming on, when you see something on the news, from that box that doesn't have a brain, you do. You need to use your brain, not let that use it for you. You have to ask with this information, who does it benefit? Who really benefits from all of this? Or where did it come from? I know I'm super skeptical when I hear somebody talking about somebody else in a bad way or trying to say bad things about somebody else. It's not... I mean, it always makes me pause for a minute to think, what is this person trying to accomplish? And why are they talking bad about that person? There's always two sides to a story. And then there's the real perspective. Eleanor Roosevelt had put a saying out that said, small minds discuss people, average minds discuss events, and great minds discuss ideas. And I think that, you know, from somebody who is not a sociopath or a narcissist, how do you spot them? How do you kind of know who they are and how to distance yourself? That I know that's one of the first things I do is I watch, what do they talk about? Are they talking about ideas and how to contribute and how to leave the world a better place and how to make it a better place? Or are they just talking about other people? And then when they are talking about other people, what the motive is behind that. And so those smear campaigns, you know, if they see that they're working or that people are buying into it, then they're going to spend more of their energy in that area on an attempt to take that person down and ruin their reputation. And while in the immediate moment, it can be devastating at best, okay? In the middle of the smear campaign that my narcissist went on, it impacted every single area of my life. And that's exactly what he wanted. And that's why he started it. And that's why he went in on it. And I remember as it kept getting bigger, I was surprised at how many people had bought in on it and that it kept spreading. Especially, I can understand the people who didn't know me, but the people who did know me. And my broker at the time, through my license, my real estate license, back to the state, before he ever talked to me about what was going on. And this is a broker who knew what was going on, because I had made sure that I had this crazy person who was creating all this chaos in my life, and I truly thought he was going to kill me. And so I wanted somebody to know what was going on. And so it really surprises me how easy the general public, people, and as you're listening to this, even when you don't mean to buy into somebody's smear campaign or somebody's attempt to tarnish somebody else, we do. It's just in our human nature of wanting to be connected to each other. And what happens is they'll throw a few different hooks out there to see if you're gonna take the bait. And they're really good at doing this. And all of a sudden you take the bait and they set the hook and they've got you down this one attempt. And then they'll go to the next person or next group and they'll do it down this attempt. And to the point that my sociopath claimed that he was now a lender. He was in the same industry as me, which he was not ever before. He just claimed to be in this industry once I got the no contact order and he was arrested, so that he could then go and reach out to other agents, real estate agents in my neighborhood under the false term of being a lender, and then find ways in those conversations to talk about me and tarnish my image, and during a time where I was fighting for my very existence. So they very much enjoy smear campaigns because they see the devastation it creates to somebody who they're trying to discard, or maybe who has discarded them, and they're trying to create just residual long-term damage. And it's just their last attempt. And the best way to get through a smear campaign, it's absolutely devastating. The best way to get on with it is just to get on with it. All right? All of the stop watching television. Thank God I stopped that before his attempt to smear me came on. But just to get up every day and put one foot in front of the other, even if you don't know what you're getting out of bed for. And I was very purposeful of making sure that I surrounded myself with positive things, that I was watching. If I'm gonna watch anything, it's gonna be stuff that makes me laugh, or this stuff that feeds my brain. If I'm going to be around people, it's going to be good people who are feeding me good energy, not people who are sad or down, because I'm not strong at that point to be able to handle helping somebody else, even though I would want to. I'm just not able to. And making sure that I do those things that make me feel special and loved. And it's truly the only thing. You can't even fight back on a smear campaign, because you know, the only defending of a truth is the truth. You don't have to let the truth free. The truth will just be what it is, and it will stand the test of time, because the truth doesn't change. And no matter how small or big the situation you're going through is, no, any attempts to do a smear campaign, any of your attempts to defend off or justify who you are, only feeds them more. So the best thing that you can do is just keep being you, completely go no contact, and stay no contact, which is not easy if you're having a smear campaign against somebody who you have children with, because you got to stay in contact with them. Been there, did that too. But it's just go to the things that feed you. My faith is very important to me, so I would seek out stories that I could align with. That, even Jesus had a Judas. Jesus had, here was this wonderful man walking around loving the world, and they still found ways to condemn him. And I just found ways to just keep walking my walk, making sure that I slowed down and kept my self-care up, because truly it's the only thing you can do. And in time, there's still, in time, there's another headline that comes along and people move on. And the people who really want to know the full balance of a story or who you are will reach out to you. And that codependent side of you just needs to go away. It's not easy, but you just get to the point where you just, for lack of a better word, you don't care. You do care, but you understand that I am so busy running around town trying to throw a bucket of water on a fire for somebody who's not worth throwing this bucket of water on the fire. If they saw value in me, they're going to come and ask for balance and clarity. And, that person the narcissist sociopath can go and get all the attention in the world, but eventually there's going to be something else that comes along, especially when you don't feed back in, you're not retaliating, you're just standing strong. because a good person's walk does not get impacted by the weather. Oh, wow, I just made that up. That's a really great quote. A good person's walk doesn't get impacted by the weather. You just put a coat on. You just bear down, buckle up, bring an umbrella, and you get through it. And you know that the weather's going to change. It's just a season that you're going through right now. And that the season, you can choose to go through a season and make it make you harder, or you can find a way to make you better. And slow down and find appreciation and gratitude in every day. That will help. But people's attempt to do a smear campaign, there's just all different ways they're going to do it. And the other thing I wanted to share is that, you know, these relationships that we have aren't necessarily just with who we have a romantic interest with. What I have learned through the last couple of years is that I had some very close relationships, girlfriend-wise, with those cluster B personalities who did the same things, where after, I know in my case, I had somebody who really did some shady business and did some things that were completely wrong, and wanted to distance myself from her. And as I went to go distance myself from her, she started her smear campaigns and was going around telling people and whispering things in their ear. And maybe the first thing wouldn't work, but she'd find something else to say. And it was amazing how many people, and that was more low key and just kind of between her and I, and then whoever she chose to talk to. But I knew if I just stand the test of time, you take the high road, because the high road has a better view. You're up high, you get to see a better view. And that the people who want to see balance are also kind of sharing with you where they need placed in your own life. Where if they want to be some of these people that sit around and be small-minded, I'm not a small-minded person. So I very much appreciate people who classify themselves and help me put them at the proper distance in my life. Because if you're a small-minded person, you're going to talk about me for a day, but there's going to be somebody else you're going to talk about tomorrow. And I really don't want to have anything to do with that. So know that, you know, when we're talking about smear campaigns and sociopath and narcissist, typically, if you're finding that you're in relationship with these people, it's not just the one relationship of being in a romantic dynamic. They're usually carrying through into other relationships. And I don't hear a lot of people talk about that. But once I was able to kind of sit back and take inventory and put people in the right place, now all this energy that I was giving to all these people who were eating me alive, I can now use not just for me, but to go and do good for other people, do things like these videos to help you and let you know that it's not you. You're not crazy, okay? You're amazing. You've got a great head on your shoulders. You were just living through a lot of crap there. The smear campaigns won't go away. You just learn to kind of buckle your lip up, walk through it, because you know what? You've got this. You can handle this, and be so thankful along the way of the clarity that you gain and the people's placement in your life. Because I don't believe, even with, you know, in the Bible, it talks about keep your enemies close. You know where they are. I think even with the bad people in your world, you kind of want to know where they're at in your universe. And they may be way out there, even past Pluto, but you know where they're at in your universe, all right? You don't just let them choose where they show up, like a Halley's Comet that comes through every once in a while. I used to have a few of those. Don't have those anymore. So just know, if you are in the middle of a smear campaign, just hugs to you. I know it's hard. You can get through this. I got through it. I mean, if you're waking up and you're not all over the news front page of the paper and you're an internet sensation, I was like on MTV. They must have had a slow week. And you find that you're the subject of somebody's smear campaign. Just really buckle down and know that usually their projection is kind of what they think of themselves, and a lot of the things they accuse you of doing in a smear campaign, they did themselves. But you can get through this, and know that, you know what, you've got such great gifts, and you're here for a reason, and we need you to get through this so that you can connect with others, because we all are connected, and we're all so powerful. So you guys, I hope you're feeling loved by me so that you can turn around and love somebody else, but most importantly, love yourself. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.